life and a little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
So my fat dog, I have a fat dog and a skinny dog.
Is that their names?
No, fat dog is my French bulldog named Willow, and my skinny dog is my Boston Terrier named Buddha. And the fat dog, Willow, had an eye problem. And so she's got one of those cones around.
I saw, yeah.
One of those cones around her head. I posted it on Instagram. First of all, a couple of thoughts. That's the worst thing ever.
The cone?
Imagine you with a cone around your head, but it's not just around your head, so you can't lick anything.
I kind of remember people having cones.
No people have ever had cones.
Is it only a dog thing? I thought I remember as a kid some kids having cones.
Where did you grow up?
But I guess that doesn't make any sense.
What kind of parent would put a cone around a child's head?
I guess it's just prevent licking, right?
Yeah, you can't lick anything. It's usually when you get fixed, you get the cone on, right? So now with the male dogs...
They might have to put a cone on me if I get fixed.
Yeah, that's right. That would be... We should do that. That should be a challenge, that we have to wear a cone for a day and see how it works. Or maybe just even for an episode of the podcast. Although our microphone, we'd have to tilt our heads forward so you could actually...
Like idiots.
It would sound probably great.
Yeah, that would be a little reverb.
So... that's Puffy, by the way. Welcome to episode 23 of the podcast. Lester has been fired.
It was sort of a last-second decision.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't working out.
Words were said. It was heated.
I can't imagine Lester ever being angry about anything, exchanging words. No, Lester's not with us today, but we'll be back. Although we felt for Lester last week. You know, we've had a running gag on the podcast about Lester being fired all the time. And they've started to... film the podcast.
Yes.
And Stoff did a great job last week. He edited a little portion down.
Yeah.
So you can now see some of the podcast on YouTube. Yeah. You don't have to sit through the whole thing, because that would just be crap.
Yeah.
But you can watch some of the podcast.
Some of the action.
And shout out to the guys at Bar Down who continue to do these great little animation stuff. Yeah. So thank you guys for doing that. So they start to film the podcast. But and Megan, I think, is up there right now.
Megan's the one who usually does it.
She's
but
up there manning. She was away last week.
Yeah.
And they only shot it mostly on a 2-shot.
Yeah.
So Lester was excluded the entire time.
Think of the 20 minutes posted.
Yeah, there was a random cutaway.
40 seconds
for about a half second. And so that's why we fired Lester. Yeah. Because we thought if he's not going to appear on camera, what's the point?
Yeah.
And it's a shame, because he's good looking and has a good appearance on television. And he's got his guitar. Lester will be back next week. He has provided a new theme song for Fandom, which we'll have our Fandom segment later. Perfect. So we've been waiting, and now we have a Fandom theme song, which will debut later in the show. The podcast is brought to you by our friends at Fandom and idrinkcoffee.com. Yes. Slavic was supposed to join us as well today, our soccer correspondent.
Yeah, a lot to talk about with TFC right now.
Right, but Slavic, I Drink Coffee, this gives me great pride. I Drink Coffee is blowing up. And Slavic is so busy, he said, I'm going to have to put it off for another week.
Wow.
And Fandom as well. They sent me, it's coming to Android. You're going to be one of the testers for Android.
That's exciting.
Puffy, you're going to be like a lab rat.
That's how I've always wanted to be, a lab rat.
So you could be a lab rat with a cone around your head. So anyway, they put the cones on the dog's head when they castrate the dogs to fix them. What do they do with a female dog?
Probably the same thing.
Why don't we know that?
I think they take their lady parts, right?
They just take it away.
Maybe like the
vagina, you can say.
No, not the vagina. The birthing stuff. The birthing. The inner stuff. not the tummy.
we continue to set new standards every week as the least intellectual.
I went to an all-boys school. We did not do sex ed. I have no idea what goes on in there.
Exactly. The kids learn more these days.
Yeah.
I'll ask my daughter tonight what they do with the female dogs.
Honey, how are babies made?
So the female dog, my fat dog, Willow.
Yeah.
So she's got this cone on her head, and it's the saddest thing ever. And you can't lick, you can't do anything, you can't scratch. If you have a scratch around your ear, you can't do anything. I try to give her a nice little scratch every day.
Well, that's good.
But also, she doesn't usually sleep. She usually sleeps with Gracie. Both my dogs sleep with Gracie, my daughter.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't like them in the bed, but I would have them in the bed, but my wife doesn't like them in the bed, so whatever. So we felt bad for Willow with the cone, so she came up in the bed for a couple of nights with the cone on.
Oh, that's a terrible decision.
Okay, so I wake up, this is yesterday morning, and I don't want to exaggerate this, but the bed was a bloodbath.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And not like The Godfather with the horse's head in the bed, but I thought automatically, Willow. Yeah. What's happened? She severed her carotid artery.
Yeah. I'd like to correct you on that, but I don't think I would nail it.
She severed an artery and is bleeding. And then I'm looking for the source of the blood, and then I realize it's my leg that I was sleeping heavily, which is rare for me. Yeah. And she was digging her stupid cone into my calf, and she sliced me.
Wow.
Okay, it wasn't that much blood, but it was blood on the sheets. It always looks worse on the sheets. So anyway, she gets the cone off tomorrow, which is exciting stuff. Do you, speaking of dog, and sexual organs and such, I just thought the moment that I learned about sex was because of my first dog, Thumper, who was a little poodle.
Did you have the dog in your 20s?
No. I would have been, I don't know, maybe 10 years old.
10 years old, okay.
I didn't know anything about stuff.
That's fair.
Where stuff happened. And I went into the backyard.
Yeah.
And Thumper, who had never gotten fixed, he was a male dog.
Okay.
And I think my parents were just too cheap to fix the dog. And what's going to happen? Who cares? And this little
especially when it's a boy dog, you don't really care.
And this little white fluffy dog apparently had not been fixed either, with the neighbor's dog. I think the Rochette's dog, perhaps. And it had snuck through the hedge.
Oh,
and Thumper was
aptly named,
doing his thing.
Yeah,
exactly. That was not even his porn name. That was his real name. And I didn't understand what was going on. Okay. I just thought he was hurting this poor,
as most kids do in
little
situations.
Puppy. So I pushed him off her back.
Oh, you don't get involved when dogs are mating.
No, because they were still attached. And I don't know how to describe this to you, but now they're back to back.
Okay.
Well, but they're attached.
Oh, that seems painful.
So no, I guess it takes and they were, and at the moment I did that, maybe not straight back to back, maybe in like a V, but they were attached.
Still attached.
And I will never forget the look that Thumper gave me that day. It's just like, you
never recovered.
This is the greatest 5 minutes of my life. Little Tiffany, the white poodle from down the street, finally came into my yard, through my hedge into my yard, and you pushed me off her.
Wow.
And so they stood there, and I didn't know what to do. And at that point, I tried to put him back on, but I couldn't do it. And so I just retreated to the house, terrified, basically. But I would peek out like 5 minutes later, and they were still attached.
But in the proper form.
No, like still.
They were like kind of back, so they were like in a painful position?
I don't know if it was painful. None of them were yelping. But then soon, I guess maybe that the dog is erect and sort of stuck in there until that erection fails.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe we could have a dog sex expert on. Do we have
Not the same day of the dream
anybody
expert.
out there that does dream expert and also knows about dog sex?
Dog sex.
Maybe someone could write us on Twitter and explain, because Puffy and I, we grew up in a sheltered environment.
Yeah, I mean.
So anyway, one of the worst moments of my upbringing, but the day I learned about sex. So
dogs.
That's nice.
Teach.
Have you ever? No.
No. Never seen the dogs do it. Well, I'm sure I have. Not my dog. We fixed her. We weren't lazy like your parents.
No, I know. Both my dogs are fixed now. And it's good to know that Willow's okay in getting her cone off. I'm sure everybody will be very.
Now, do you have a girl dog and a boy dog?
Yes.
Do they ever do
yes.
like the dry stuff?
Oh, no, every night.
Yeah.
It's a show that lasts somewhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes every night. And it starts with usually a Buddha, the male dog.
Yeah.
I guess the Willow's the dominant one. So Buddha licks her face for about 15 minutes.
Oh,
Willow
nice.
never reciprocates, never licks Buddha's face.
A selfish lover.
Right. And then, but she might occasionally dabble down into...
Oh, okay.
If he's in the right position.
Oh,
just give him a little And then they start chasing each other, and what like dogs do, and they're growling and playing and growling and playing. And then Buddha jumps on, and Willow takes it for a little while, and then often Willow will end up on her back.
Okay.
I think I've showed you the videos.
Yeah, I've seen the
and they end up in the missionary position,
which is lovely.
And usually it happens during a dinner party. And guests find this endlessly amusing.
Well, it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it is something. I was going to say I'll get a tape for you and post it, but I don't know if people want to see that on it.
Probably not.
Let's get to the Rod Smith recap.
Look, kids, Roddy could do his usual brilliant recap and set up silly sound bites from the other guys who play minor and frankly forgettable roles in Roddy's weekly tour de force. But let's face it, Episode 22 was all about 2 words, and they have provided the inspiration for Roddy's latest hip-hop single. So screw the recap. Let's re-rap. When Roddy lays his voice down on a track.
Money.
When Emilio puts the oil on Roddy's back.
Money.
When Roddy hosts a show on TSN.
Money.
When Roddy make love to Helen Mirren.
Money.
Roddy's face.
Money.
Roddy's hair.
Money.
Roddy body.
Money.
No underwear.
Money.
Go ahead, fool. Ask all the ladies east to west. They know Roddy's beef dip is the best. Mic drop.
There you go.
That's an instant banger.
Yeah, we were talking about all the songs we've done.
Yeah.
I don't think that anything will be as successful as that will be.
That's going to be on iTunes.
Yeah, especially, what is it? When Roddy hosts a show on TSN. When Roddy make love to Helen Mirren.
Flat money.
I think you're going to... O-Dog's going to come after you for residuals.
He's flat money.
Oh, man. That might be the best thing I think Roddy's ever done. Roddy's going to join us hopefully again. He's next to us doing his Sports Center stuff, so at some point along the way, he's going to join us. The Roddy Recap is brought to you by iDrinkCoffee.com.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Slavic, who could not make it, texted me some stuff, some new stuff, new giveaways for all the folks that go on the iDrinkCoffee.com. So I'm just gonna read the text. It takes me a second here. Oh, here we go. A new anniversary sweepstakes for a chance to win a Rocket Portavia. Do you think it would be Portavia or a Portavia?
Portavia.
Portavia, the world's first E61 portable espresso machine. So it's no E60 or E59.
Seriously,
this is an E61.
you can be going down the highway and you could have a little bit of espresso.
World's
That's
first
unbelievable.
portable espresso machine, the E61. It comes with a carrying case, so you can take it to the cottage. You can bring it into the podcast studio.
Perfect.
No purchase necessary. We're also running a 9% discount promo all month on most items because it's their 9th year anniversary.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you can enter the sweepstakes to win the first ever portable espresso machine. I almost fell back into the old days. And you can get a 9% discount on it. That's from my buddy Stavik, who will join us and talk about soccer stuff next week.
The Mighty Reds.
Yeah, not so impressive, the game against Columbus, though.
No, they didn't play very well.
That's all. They're focused
all
too much
about the champions.
Yeah, they're all focused on that right now. We'll talk soccer. Let's get to, you could call this either things that I saw on Twitter or the week that was, because it's kind of going to overlap this week. So I'll let Stoff pick his favorite.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast Crew.
Which one do you like better?
That one.
You like that better than the
Yeah.
things that I saw on Twitter?
Yeah. I like that one.
Interesting. So the Combine, the NFL Combine, is it still on? By the time most people listen to
believe
this,
it's
will it
still
be?
on.
It may be over.
It'll be over by then,
It
it
seems
should.
to go forever, but I think we were all crazily impressed, and I saw this first on Twitter. That's why we could also call this things I saw on Twitter. Shaquem Griffin is incredibly inspiring. So he plays for Central Florida, the team that went undefeated and could have made an argument for the national championship, and only has one hand, which is incredible to not only play NCAA football, but to likely be drafted into the NFL.
That's just crazy.
Right. And then so he puts on the artificial prosthetic hand and does, 25 reps or something of 225 in bench press, which is nuts. And then pulls off a 40 that's crazy as well.
Running the 40-yard dash. UCF in the house. Four, 3, 8 for Shaquem Griffin.
Hello.
Shaquem Griffin is absolutely dominating.
Happy birthday, Mama.
This combine.
That is unreal.
4.38.
Yeah, that is
usually the super speed guys are 4.2.
right.
And he's a linebacker.
So I was thinking, Goodell ran it yesterday in his office in
Yeah.
a suit, the commish. I'm not a big fan of, and they say 5.41. Now who knows if they fudged it? They might want to fudge it for the boss.
That seems pretty fast.
Tom Brady ran a 5.28. So Goodell was only 13/100ths off of Tom Brady. Have you seen Tom Brady running that thing?
No.
It's not pretty. Especially at that time, you bet the scouts went, Who the hell is
No
this
wonder
guy?
he dropped.
He looks like the
stone.
Forrest Gump run at the beginning. Like he can't even run properly. Essentially, he almost falls down.
I don't even remember if I've ever seen him really run.
And he's the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
So I was thinking on the way in, Puff,
No.
that we could do the run the 40.
Run the 40? What do you think you could do?
Well, I think I did it once. We went to my son had a hockey tournament in Ohio, and a few of the dads and I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, and they had a field outside, and I think they had the 40 out there. I can't remember if there was an actual clock or the dad, but I pulled a hammer about at 23 yards in, so I think I was about 6.9 or 7.1. But in my prime, 4.3, 4.4.
What do you consider your
at Gloucester
prime?
High School? Maybe
Because
Carleton.
you were a cornerback in high school who
Yeah.
had university aspirations.
Yeah.
So you better have been able to run at least a 4.6.
And when I was playing soccer at Clemson, I ran about a 4. You like that snuck onto our the quiz last night.
The Clemson?
Yeah.
Oh, it's basically going to become real.
We were making a reference to something, and we were talking
the
about
soccer
Messi.
one. Yeah.
And Pooley goes, "Well, you have some soccer history." I'm like, at Clemson, and most of our viewers have no idea. That was only for the listeners of the podcast.
They know all that stories.
What do you think you could run?
I'd be hoping to beat Usain Bolt's 100-meter time.
What's 9.5, 9 or something like that?
I honestly think I'll get tired running it.
Do you have runners on right now?
I do have runners on.
I have runners just because I had my workout this morning. I'm exhausted.
You've been
I have
dropping
that
workouts
deep
a lot
cut
lately.
from the dog cone on my leg. That's
So-
going to slow me down.
That is.
I have to take off the hoodie because that's probably will cut down my.
Yeah, you'll
do we
get
do it
swept
outside or do we do it in the hallway?
Problem with outside, it's a little slippery.
Right. We don't want to go down.
Yeah, and there's cars.
Okay.
parking lot out there.
So, Stoff, can we just shut off the podcast in the middle and come back to it?
Sure can.
Okay.
Perfect.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go get Roddy, and
Yep.
we'll get him to do play-by-play. We can just record it on my phone.
Perfect.
We'll measure out the 40.
Okay.
Megan, if you're watching,
Yep. We'll need her
we need
for
crowd control,
crowd control and a stopwatch.
because that hallway probably along the calf.
Yeah,
is
that's probably the longest one. That's got to
55
be at
yards or
least
something like that.
That's got to be at least half a football.
But there's a
field.
lot of traffic on there, so we'll shut it. We'll shut it down.
Shut it down. I'm sure the bosses won't mind.
Do we have to do a dynamic warm up, like 20 minutes of stretching? Do we not? How long do we have the studio for, Stuff?
Till 4 o'clock. So.
Okay, so right now it's
Feasible.
2:47 p.m. Okay, so we're gonna do it, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
And brag about our times.
Okay.
All right.
Are we putting our?
And then
are we
we'll
going to do it on camera so people see that it's legit, or are we just going to make up what we actually did?
Yeah, we'll get one of our guys like Mike or someone in the video suite if they're free
Okay.
to film it.
Okay.
But if we look really stupid, we won't post it.
For sure.
Okay.
We'll just
Because
laugh
I
all
make
the time.
funny. Like I think I'm when I'm running hard, I make my sex face.
I make my sex face when I dance.
Really?
Yeah. Remember one of Tanya's friends said
Dance
that?
right now. I want to see it.
I'm not going to dance right now. But she said,
I want to
to
see
sex
it
face
again.
And then Tanya was like,
Okay, well, you hold on to your sex face, and we're
Okay.
going to go run the 40.
Let's do it.
This is exciting.
I'm Rod Smith, and we are getting set for the Rubber Boots Combine, the 40-meter dash.
Yards.
It's 40 yards, I am told now. We're going back to the Imperial system. And it is Puffy and Stoff. It comes down to these two.
I'm in it, too.
Oh, JD is in it too, but nobody's really giving him much of a chance. The time to beat right now is 16:46, laid down by Duthie earlier on, although he said he wasn't trying that hard. And now Stoff is ready. The last time he ran was for class president in grade 6. Has occasionally run away from his wife, but never like this, down a hallway and trying to run his way into history in the Rubber Boots Combine. Stoff's in the blocks.
Set. Go.
Those first 10 yards, very important, not stumbling. Stoff straightening up. He has got a good time going here. Stoff hits the line, and his time is 6.41, and that is a Rubber Boots record. High fives from JD. And Stoff, come on over here. I should tell you now, and we can make it official at 6.41 seconds, that is the fastest time anyone has ever laid down in the history of the Rubber Boots podcast. Now, I should qualify it saying that this is the first time laid down, but your thoughts coming in.
Just glad I didn't throw up. That was the strategy going in. Kept running straight, didn't fall. Things worked out well.
Do you think this time will stand? Do you think Puffy has a chance?
I think I got a shot against Puff. We'll see.
Okay, well, we shall see indeed as
He looks confident.
as Puffy in his lucky green And his favorite running jeans prefers the standing start as opposed to Stoff, who got down on all fours.
On your mark, get set, go!
And here we are, the 40 yards. Now, a tough start for Puffy as he weaves side to side like he'd had too many drinks before this race. Crosses the line in a time of 6:23, and he ran at least 2 extra yards to the left and then the right. The 5 pints you had before this race you thought would help loosen you up. Was that a mistake?
Yes, I almost stumbled coming out of the gate, but I think I could have gone even under 5.
And you're wearing your St. Patrick's green for good luck, I see.
Yeah, I came through.
So now we're just waiting for Duthie. Once again, he'll be doing a standing start, just like Puff did. Will he have a better start? Here we go. Duthie, straight out of the gate, stumbles a bit at the 7-yard mark, and he weaves to his right as if he's had a drink, but he crosses the line in a flurry for 5.89, and he still isn't happy. Are you not happy with that?
No, Rod, I'm not happy. He's a chicken. Puffy's a chicken. No. I stumbled twice. I stumbled out of the gate. I stumbled halfway, Rod. I mean, I'm going to win, but I'm not about winning. I'm about world records.
Listen, congratulations. There's a bathroom around the corner because I know you want to throw up.
Thank you, Roddy. I got disoriented, all the glass.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bail right off the start there.
Oh, Steve is up next.
Steve is TSN Hockey's video editor and a friend of the podcast.
Brett, on your mark, get set, go!
He's got to go sub 5'8". Great start by Steve. Standing up straight. Kicking those knees. Oh, blazing through the line. 5.70, and we have another new leader in the history of the Rubber Boots podcast and the 40-yard combine. Steve, congratulations. You beat Duthie.
Thanks, Rod. I was hoping to beat James. He was warming up. He has this track pants on, the running shoes. I just got the chucks on, but it was all right.
Stoff, trying to get it. Sub 6.
On your mark, get set, go!
Stoff getting a second try and a much better start this time. No stumble, straight through. Could be doing it now. 6:35 was the time? Stoff, towards the end, it looked like you were running 100 and not a 40 there. How do you feel now? Stoff has chosen not to talk to us now.
Shutting up the press.
Our boy Puff. Can he go sub 6?
Get set, go!
Here comes Puffy. His second stab, much straighter, straight as an arrow this time, kicking those legs and across the line at a time of 5.91. So he shaves 0.32 seconds off his first one. Much, much closer now. You must be feeling a lot better about that.
Yeah, I felt better about that one. No slip-ups. That's as good as I can do.
And it looks like you're sobering up.
No, not quite.
And the green light has been given to Duthie to see if he can break Steve's time of 5.71 in this 40. Rubber Boots Combine. It's Duthie.
On your mark, get set, go!
Duthie out of the gate again, straight up. Charging hard, picking up speed halfway through. This is going to be a good time. Crosses the line at 5.97. His time, despite the way it looked, your time sucked compared to your first one now.
I say faulty clock. What did you have there? That's bull.
We can edit that out. And now, finally, still the leader at 5.71 in his second race here in this 40-yard of the Rubber Boots podcast is Steve, the leader, trying to better his own time.
On your marks, get set, go!
Out a little slower than last time, but he is picking up at the 20, at the 30, and across at the 40 with a time of 5.43. Destroys his first race. Steve, the best time at the Rubber Boots Combine. Congratulations.
Really, I'm proud of you. Rod, lift up his shirt. This is a poster for HGH.
This is a poster for
We now, ladies and gentlemen, we already now, Duthie is a very bitter accusation at Steve that he thinks he's juicing, thinks that's the reason why.
On the show.
It is sad to see that he was
Sign off, Rod.
He was invited, and now a lot of Duthie is bitter. And folks, maybe this shines the light on how bitter the Duthie can be.
Wait a second, Lloyd's here.
Oh my goodness, Lloyd Robertson.
Hold on. Let's
Lloyd, how are you? We're running the 40-yard dash down the hallway here.
Oh, good luck.
My friend Puffy just would you like to partake?
No, I just came back from the gym.
Oh, Lloyd's tired.
He's already gassed then.
Full of excuses.
Thank you, Lloyd. All right. Say goodnight, Rod.
Say goodnight, Rod.
Well, back in studio.
Yeah.
Couple of thoughts. First of all, it's a shame that wasn't a pay-per-view event.
I know.
Because we'd be loaded.
Bodog should have had some lines going.
No, serious. That little fandom question last week, we would have had the $20 million in the bank.
Yeah.
People would have paid $69.95 for that, would they have not?
I think so.
Secondly, you kept bragging that you beat me when you didn't beat me. I beat you by 2/100ths of a second.
I had you.
Secondly,
I was just proud that it went under 6. I really brought my time down.
A couple of thoughts. There's no way that Goodell beat us. I thought we were excellent all the way.
Hauler's in great shape.
He's a run, and he looked good.
And he looked good doing it, and he got beat. I think either we didn't measure it out.
Right.
Correctly.
We took big. I think we did meters.
Yeah. It looked far. It looked like we went a long distance.
So why don't we shave a second off on each time? So your best was a 4.91.
That's pretty good.
And I was a 4.89.
That's like a solid offensive lineman time.
It's flat money. The other thing is that these times are not official.
No.
But our crew, our buddy Mike, who does a lot of the video for us, was videotaping them.
Yeah.
So we can ingest them into the system, go frame by frame, and get official times for next week.
Yes, we'll love
the dramatic
So I still have a
conclusion.
chance that I could beat you.
You have a shot, but I feel like my second run is probably in the 4.4s to 4.5s. It was just a bad clock.
Your first run's the one that beat me.
I think you were a little slow. You see, I was really good on my thumb reaction.
I was very quick on that.
Yeah, I actually waited till you're like 10 yards by before I stopped your clock. Anyway, so what we'll do, I guess, we'll post some of the video if we get it up there on the Instagram account, on the Rubber Boots account, so everybody can watch that. Do you think, were you watching me? Was I making my sex face while I was running?
You had a serious ugly face going down the last 10.
Yeah, I know. I'm not proud of that.
I felt like I was really good. Like I felt like I was just
looking good. Were you concentrating more on looking good?
And my form, I felt, was fantastic.
But did you wobble, as Rod said, so much in the first one?
First one, I almost fell.
I almost crashed through the glass.
Yeah.
On either side.
My shoes, they slipped.
That sounds like a cop out. I had that gauging hole in my thigh, which is basically a torn Achilles. Yeah. And still made it through.
Now, if I do HGH for a full year,
right?
Do you think I can break 5?
What if we do a cycle? What if we start a cycle now?
Yeah.
And because we should be doing that anyway for
March,
New Jack Masters, which isn't going so well.
No, it's coming in hot.
So maybe for our 30th and last episode of the season, whenever that is,
we take
Stanley
HGH?
Cup final. No, we take HGH from now until then.
Until then, okay.
Yeah. Not just HGH, the full gamut. EPO, blood doping, the full thing. We need somebody to sponsor us, though, because that crap's expensive.
I can't afford that.
That Russian doctor that was in the
shady one?
The one that was in is
Icarus?
Icarus. I don't know. I was going to say Aztecas or something like that. He's in hiding somewhere. If we could find him and he could put us on a program, we just be doing it for the
not illegal, right?
For the science.
If you're just doing it,
it's for science.
It is. It's like a documentary.
Yeah, I think we should do that. You remember I had steroids at the World Juniors to fix my throat,
and it worked.
Yeah, it didn't help me in this though. Apparently,
no.
I thought we were all pretty impressive.
Yeah. Stuff looked good going down.
How about Roddy's commentary?
Fantastic.
Like Roddy should win some sort of Canada Screen Award just for that.
Yeah.
The guy's a pro.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he saved it. I would have liked it if he ran, though. That would have been more fun.
Yeah, while commentating on it.
Kara Waglin was at the start line.
Yeah.
And she was like shaming me. She was dissing me at the start line.
Was she?
She rattled me. She was there at the start line giving me shots, and she was shooting it for her Instagram, and she was going to be on the podcast because I'm a big fan of Kara. But now, after she shamed me at the start line, I don't know if she'll be on for a while.
You gonna put her on suspension?
I may just do that. Thank you, listeners, for indulging us in that athletic competition. Some people say we don't talk about sports enough on the pod, and so we don't talk about it. We just do sports now. Maybe every week we'll do a different sport.
We do sports, and we don't care who knows.
That could be our new thing. Yeah. No, you know what our catchphrase is? Flat money. One other thing from
flat money.
We didn't play things I saw on Twitter. Why don't you play the things I saw on Twitter theme, so then I can get to hear both, and then I'll bring in the one more thing I saw on Twitter this week.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes, all of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
So this is what's happening now is people are sending me videos of their children singing the Rubber Boot song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the demo we were clearly going for. It's going to be probably like the Wiggles. It'll be the next
Fred
hit.
Penner's Hearing Footsteps.
Right. So I got about 3 different baby videos this week from kids either dancing to or singing the Rubber Boots song. Here's Drew Webb sent us this. He says, my wife and 3-year-old have never heard the podcast, but they know the Rubber Boot song because I'm singing it constantly.
That's great.
Do you like the dance at the fair?
That is
Drew,
really good.
Drew, you have a beautiful family, and thanks for playing along.
At the fair.
What else were we going to do? We didn't beat Goodell, by the way, or Tom Brady. I think we beat Tom
Goodell
Brady.
definitely did not run an efficient.
Does it feel like it's stinging and this is going to linger with me for a while?
Yeah, because you fancy yourself quite the athlete.
Well, again, Clemson soccer, All-American 4 years in a row. This actually leads in the fact that we have audience participation now, or listener participation.
Yes.
They've also provided our question this week.
Oh, yeah, they did.
For Puffy's Hypotheticals.
Puffy's Hypotheticals, who really gives a crap? All the ladies want to hear is the Rod Smith recap. Blah, 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 blah. Roddy is the best. The best.
When Roddy hosts a show on TSN, flat money. When Roddy make love to Helen Mirren. So what was it, Puff?
It's from Canadian KC Chief.
Okay.
At Canadian on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Movies, music, TV shows, and podcasts. You can only have 2 for the rest of your life. Which do you pick?
So you have to give up 2 permanently, forever. Well, podcasts, obviously.
No, see, I think podcasts you keep.
Really?
Yeah, it gives you your news, current affairs. The other stuff wouldn't give you anything.
Are you just being biased because you're on a podcast?
Potentially, but I also think that podcasts are the future. TV shows, the past.
I do find I listen to a lot more podcasts instead of listening to music on the way in. But I don't know, working out, you kind of need music on.
You could just go music.
Dance, you can't go to a club.
I think I'm going
love
music.
the clubs.
Yeah, we do. Not our demographic.
Okay, so what are
anymore,
you dropping?
I think I'm going to lose movies and TV shows.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're never going to watch a screen again, essentially.
I find I actually don't watch that many TV shows. I watch sports. I can still watch sports, I'm assuming, in this scenario.
No, you've just given... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a TV show. I mean, I'm assuming it just means like I can't watch Game of Thrones and stuff.
Can I still do a podcast, but I'm just not allowed to listen to it?
The recap's going to be really weak.
Imagine what I could do in post like that.
Yeah, you have to say that. It's a listening thing, right?
Yeah, it's a listening thing.
Yeah, I'm going to drop podcasts.
You're going to drop podcasts.
And I'm going to drop movies.
So TV shows and music.
Yeah,
music's the one I don't think you can get.
I mean, TV has kind of surpassed movies in many ways now with the kind of stuff, and you can get like 20 hours out of something instead of just an hour and a half movie. But that is a hard question because I love my films.
I love movies, but I can't remember the last movie I saw where I'd be like, oh, I couldn't live without having seen that movie. Like, there's good movies, they're entertaining, but it's not like
Is porn a TV show or a film?
Yeah, hold on a second. If porn counts as movies, then I'm gonna have to change my.
Well, if you get a little video clip on what's the big porn channel? Red Tube or something?
RedTube is one, yeah.
Is that still out there? And I'm not being
sure
silly. I'm not pretending not to.
As of this morning.
As of when I went to the washroom between running the race and coming back to the pod.
Still up.
It was alive and
the government hasn't taken it down
what are you
yet.
giving up, buddy?
I'm with Puff. I'm going to give up the TV shows and the movies.
Yeah. I think that's
the way of the future?
I think that's the way of the future.
No. Yeah, well, if I'll feel pretty stupid in 20 years if all anybody does is podcasts. But
that's what's going to
happen.
happen.
This podcast thing's going nowhere, let's be honest.
Oh, no, I think it's here to stay.
By the way, we're getting a lot of promotion now.
Yeah.
We were kind of, which I like it, we were kind of an underground podcast, which
now,
gave us more street
did you give
cred.
a little bit of shaking of the tree upstairs? Did you, shake some...
Not really,
no.
But the Bobcast started, I did it actually not quietly, because I'm not sleazy like that. But when the Bobcast started getting promotion on air, every time I had to promote it, I would just promote the Rubber Boots podcast instead.
For sure.
Here's a here's something graphic telling you to watch the Bobcast. But before you do that, watch the Rubber Boots podcast. So I think the people upstairs got the word.
Yeah.
And so they just gave up and they did a Rubber Boots podcast thing. Because now they promote it on things like The Briar. Do you think we have a lot of curling fans that listen to us?
Yeah,
Give us a shout. Give us a write if we have curling fans listening to us. And so the podcast is getting...
and it was on the Leaf game last night, too.
A lot of national attention. Oh, sorry, regional attention.
The Briar is a national broadcast, James.
This is exciting. Lester's not here this week after being fired.
Hold on,
but
you just said it's exciting that Lester's not here this week.
Yeah. So much more time for us to talk.
Period.
We miss Lester. Yeah. Play a little serious Lester now, just for memory's sake.
Serious Lester, the conscience of the podcast.
Yeah. We miss him. So Lester, what he did was he wrote a fandom theme, because we've been doing fandom here for a full year, and we have never written them a theme song.
Yep.
So our good friends at Fandom, and we have a new theme song for the fandom segment. Here it is.
Give me an F-A-N and a D-O-L. What you got? Fandom, 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 fandom.
Well, that was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
It was. I just pictured him in a little room just smashing everything.
I know. I like it. It's kind of got a cheerleader feel to it.
I really liked it.
Sporting theme. He tied in the theme and everything. And so Alan, who was one of the guys who runs Fandom, he sent me all sorts of new. They have all sorts of new slogans and stuff. I didn't really organize this well, but pick a fight, talk trash, get rewarded. All these other catchphrases. Actually, I think this is like a presentation. Provocateurs of raw, authentic, and passionate sports confrontations, unfiltered fandom, unleashed and rewarded, allowing fans to fight one another for ultimate bragging rights and real-life rewards.
Perfect.
Entertaining mobile app designed to allow sports fans to pick fights with one another, trash-talking their way to victory. I have all sorts of new fandom taglines that I'll be debuting over the next few weeks. The fandom question from last week, or do we start doing the new one first, Puff?
I think we do the new one first.
Yeah, okay, let's do the new one because you came up with this. And the problem sometimes with our pod is that we will often tape on Tuesdays and it doesn't go up usually till Thursdays. So we're always worried about being dated. So we didn't want to do a big Oscar theme, one of those lame Oscar things.
Yeah.
But we did come up with a fandom question based on what we observed at the Oscars. And it's kind of tied into last week's question about winning the Stanley Cup or being
a little
rich.
bit, yeah.
Go ahead.
So whose career would you rather have as an actor? Vin Diesel. Mm-hmm. So you're in a blockbuster franchise,
super
made
rich,
a lot of money,
probably made a couple $100 million.
Yeah, well known. Mm-hmm. Or Sam Rockwell, where you have a statue now. Mm-hmm. You are well respected in the industry.
A lot of great character parts,
and you can have consistent work, but you're probably not. You're not nearly as big a name.
Right.
And for an actress, we figured it would be Jennifer Aniston.
We love our ladies. We wanted to relate to our ladies as
Jennifer Aniston for the big name superstar who's made a lot of money but hasn't maybe had the critical acclaim of a Kate Winslet, who's also financially stable, I'm sure, but hasn't. I don't think she's ever made
It's harder from the women's side because
Jennifer
Aniston's been really good in the movies that she is. Where I would argue like Vin Diesel. Well, I guess Vin Diesel's good in what he does.
Yeah, he's
but
great.
Jennifer Aniston's a good actress.
Fast and the Furious movies are awesome.
Right. Okay, so that's the ladies can answer that one. We'll answer the male version.
Yes.
So I think I know where you're going. If I know you well enough, is that you're going to be Vin Diesel.
I think so. Yeah. I think I want to be a superstar. Want to have a lot of money. Big name, cool career. I don't need the critical acclaim. Who needs a statue?
I think I want to be Sam Rockwell. I want to be the actor's actor. Yeah. I want to walk into an industry event and just get respected. See, because you'll be laughed at. People will be talking about you behind. First of all, you're like 5'3".
True. But no one's laughing at Vin Diesel. He gets respect. He's like the executive producer on all
He
those
revs
things.
the car and he turns to the guy in the next car and says...
He does a little more than that.
I'm going to beat you. I think that's one of his lines. I'm going to beat you. Is that what he says?
I don't think that's
I think that's his catchphrase.
That might have been in episode 1.
No, that was in Furious 1, 4, and 5. Those catchphrases.
But by
I'm
7,
beat you.
a lot more in-depth characterization.
Have you watched all those? I only watched the first one.
I watched the first one.
They're
and
incredibly popular.
I missed a couple, and then I jumped back in around 5. And I've seen the last few.
Okay.
I like them. They're good.
Stoff, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, saying I'm going to beat you for millions and millions of dollars sounds pretty good.
All right. You want to be Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Who do you think does better with the ladies?
I think they both. Well,
probably Vin Diesel causes
Vin
more of
Diesel,
a thing when he walks into.
I
a
think
bar.
if you're in a bar and you're like you heard Sam Rockwell's there, you'd be like, what? If it's Vin Diesel, you're probably going for a closer.
No, I'd be the opposite. But then again, I'm about credibility and I'm about the art, Puffy, not about the dollar bills.
You're about the statues.
The question from last week: if you had the option, would you rather retire from an NHL career with $4 million in the bank and a Stanley Cup ring, or $20 million in the bank and no cup ring? I was worried this was going to really tilt towards. No, the opposite way. I thought everybody would be like, I want the cup, because that's the way fans are, and we have a lot of fans that listen to us.
Yeah.
It's actually close, 53-47 at last check, in favor of $4 million in the bank and the cup.
Really? So more people want the cup?
The majority want the cup, and if you go through our answers, I would say the majority want the cup. But there was a lot of answers, by the way, and in-depth answers this week. So thank you all. I wish I could read all of your answers, but then the podcast would be too long and nobody would listen to us. It's already too long, probably. So I'm just going to pick a few out here randomly. Neil said cup, flat money.
Well, that's a winner.
It's succinct and smart.
It's flat money.
Temus Salamis. Do you think that's Temus Salamis?
I think it's really him.
Yeah, I think so too. Definitely the cup.
Big fan.
He knows he's all about the glory, baby. Let's see what else we got here. This is a long one, but I'm going to read it because he put a lot of thought in it. Sahider 1. It depends on how great of a player I am. If I am someone with a Hart Trophy or 2 or 3, I'm taking the $20 million. $4 million's a lot of money, but I am one of the best at my sport. I want to make as much as possible in order to live a great life post-retirement, etc., etc. Judging players in team sports based on championships doesn't make sense to me. Somebody can be an all-time great talent like McDavid, but never have a good enough team around them to win a title. I won't think any less of them. Dan Marino would be another good example.
Yep.
He says, I'd rather be Charles Barkley than Robert Horry. If I'm just an average player, I'd sign for the Stanley Cup or any other championship team sports. That's well thought out.
Yeah, that's good. I'd rather.
He wasn't the guy who won last week, was he? Because I can never remember.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to Sahider 1. I'm going to give him.
You have like 9 books.
Cannot mix with Yankees. Also had a good long answer, but it's too long. Somebody called Guy from R. Swank 13, $20 million, no cup. It worked all right for Jeff O'Neill. I take the life of the O-Dog anyway. What was Jeff's quote last night when we asked him this question on the podcast? He said, "It's not about winning.
I want the 20 mil.
I want the 20 million." Thanks, everybody. And I think it was Sahider 1. Send me your stuff on Twitter, and I will send you a book. And by the way, apologies again to everybody who's won over the last few weeks. I was waiting for a shipment of books. Just got it in. I will try to get them out this week. And to all the intern applicants as well, thank you very much. We are really getting to it.
Yep.
Right, Puff? We're going to pour over it over the next couple of weeks.
Although you're going away from March break, so there might be a little bit of a hiatus on that.
Yes, the pod is off next week.
Yep.
I'm going to be in the Cayman Islands, and we can't hook up the satellite, even though you were able somehow magically.
I was able to get to the studio.
I will not be able to get to the studio. So we'll return in 2 weeks. We'll have the official times.
Yep.
We'll declare an official champion of the Combine.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll actually measure properly to see if we overran like we think we overran.
We could put the Libero on that, and it'll be able to time the
Libero
distance.
machine?
Yeah, it'll be able to time the exact distance.
That thing's a crock too, isn't it? We put those miles per hour on those guys when we're...
Legitimate times, James.
I think they're... McDavid is
Andrew
going
Fitzpatrick.
270 miles per hour on this breakaway. Anyway, sorry, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging us in our Combine. And congratulations to Steve Hall.
Yeah, Haller.
Who tore it up. And
he definitely will have to pee in the cup, though, for that time to be official.
He's on a lot of
There's something
stuff.
going on
Here's
there.
the Rubber Boots Guys song. See you in a couple of weeks.
Hey, how are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange. My My obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your Hawaii boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your Hawaii boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge, a bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your Hawaii boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your Hawaii boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody. Anyone?